Hi, I'm Carlin Borisenko. In early 2020, I was the knitting Democrat who accidentally went viral on the internet for going to a Trump rally and then left the party. I became the conservative darling, was on all the shows, traveled around the country, and then realized that conservatives were no better than Democrats. If there's one thing that I've learned, it's that both political tribes are two sides of the same coin. But it wasn't all bad. On my journey, I became obsessed with understanding the woke ideology and the culture war. I broke the story of the city of Seattle doing segregated training with its employees.
How bad has this stuff become? The city of Seattle has now put out, I'm not kidding you, this is according to Dr. Carolyn Borisenko, who's an organizational psychologist. The city of Seattle asked its white employees to voluntarily spend a day off in a training about their internalized racial superiority.
I broke the story that led to the first ever federal lawsuit against critical race theory in the schools. I broke the Coke Be Less White story, one of the biggest anti-woke stories of all time. It got over 30 million views. Coca-Cola's corporate headquarters even had to change their outgoing voicemail.
Throughout the past few days, you may have seen inaccurate reporting on the content of our recently launched diversity, equity, and inclusion training program.
I exposed the schools in Burlington, Vermont for grooming middle school children live on the internet. They called me an unwoke cult leader for that. And the Vermont Human Rights Commission slandered me publicly as being a hate channel. I even got called a hero in Breitbart for exposing that the Washington Post was writing a hit piece on Christopher Rufo. I have broken story after story after story about what's going on in the public schools, from Cambridge, Massachusetts, to autistic sex education, to the Department of Education in Michigan, literally training teachers all over the state how to groom children. I wrote a book called Actively Unwoke, the ultimate guide for fighting back against the woke insanity in your life. I host a podcast all about fighting back, and I'm downloading all of my knowledge to you on my Substack, carlin.substack.com. The world is a crazy place. We are literally surrounded by cults on all sides. On this show, we're going to do a deep dive into all aspects of the culture war, and I will show you the dark, dystopian underbellies on both sides. Here are the commitments I'll make to you. I will always tell you the truth. I will always bring you receipts. And if you stick with me, I promise you will see the world differently. Welcome to the cult. Please mount that like button for me and subscribe if you feel so inclined. Well, hey, everyone. Happy Wednesday. Welcome to The Cult. The Cult is a show that I do Monday through Fridays at 5 p.m. on this here YouTube channel and on Odyssey, Rockfin, and Rumble, where we do deep dives into all aspects of the culture war. And then, of course, on Saturdays, we go live 1 hour later at 6 p.m. for Socialism Saturday. And by the way, thank you to Qbert in my community. I have got a doozy of a Socialism Saturday coming up. You might as well just block off your entire Saturday evening. Here's the hint. We are all going to do a class on how we can be the very best comrades that we can be on Saturday, starting at 6 p.m. It's going to be great. You guys are just going to love it. But today, sometimes I like to indulge. Sometimes I like to partake in other things that are not woke insanity. And though we do have things that we can talk about today that are woke insanity, do you guys mind granting me a point of personal privilege, if you will? Because as you guys know, I don't have a life. I don't. I study the woke ideology and I research the woke ideology and I teach people about the woke ideology and I sometimes knit while I'm teaching people about the woke ideology. But in the limited amount of free time that I have when I am on my phone, on Instagram, and the videos that I choose to watch just for fun on YouTube, I'm a little obsessed with royal things. I am. As some of you may have discovered when I streamed the coronation, what was that, a couple weeks ago? We didn't just watch King Charles III's coronation. We watched the last two coronations before it, back to back, in an epic 8 hour coronation live stream where we watched King George VI, Queen Elizabeth II, and then King Charles III coronation back to back to back to back because I'm obsessed with royal things. I'm obsessed. And there's a little bit of a kerfuffle. We all said, I even said it during the coronation live stream. I said Meghan Markle's going to do something because Meghan Markle is an absolute narcissist. And to be fair, when I use the term narcissist, I only use it to describe people that I legitimately think have narcissistic personality disorder. I don't use it as an insult. I don't use it to hurl something at people to discredit them or any of that, because narcissistic personality disorder, I think, is actually a very sad thing. It's something that is beyond the control of the people who have it. It is part nature. It is part nurture. It has to do with who your parents are and what that happened during childhood. And so it's not something that people can really control. And if they do develop narcissistic personality disorder, most of the time they're completely unaware that they have it, and they can never become aware that they have it because that's just the way it works. So when I say Meghan Markle is a narcissist, I'm not saying that I'm not using it as an insult, even though it does make her do evil things, because all narcissists do, things that I think most of us would consider to be truly evil. But I try to do it from a more detached perspective. Her parents are not her fault. Her upbringing was not her fault, that sort of thing. But she is a narcissist. And so I think many of us that follow royal things, we were absolutely expecting, because Meghan Markle was not going to go to the coronation, we were absolutely expecting that Meghan Markle was going to do something to draw attention away from the coronation and onto her, because she doesn't want the attention to be on Charles. She doesn't want the attention to be on Camilla. She wants it on her and only on her, and that's the way it goes, okay? Well, she didn't do it at coronation, but it didn't take her too long, did it? And that's what we're going to talk about today. If you have not been following along with the royal news of the day, you are this might not be the stream for you. I'm going to be honest, unless you're interested in this sort of thing. But here's what happened. So I woke up this morning and well, actually, let's go back to what happened last night first. Let's talk about what happened last night first. Let me get the correct window up. Last night, Meghan Markle received an award for being some sort of visionary woman feminist. Now, this is one of those PR awards. It's kind of like Meghan Markle and Harry hired a PR team and they called around. They said, "Do you have an award you can give Meghan? Do you have an award you can give Meghan?" Because they need to get positive attention and positive press, and she wants people talking about her, even though they say that they want their privacy. That doesn't mean they actually want privacy. She wants people talking about her. She wants the spotlight on her. And so last night, she was getting an award. And she wore this gold dress to the ceremony, which you could tell she was trying so very hard to be Princess Catherine, the Princess of Wales. She was trying really, really hard. And I don't think she quite pulled it off. I think she looks very boxy in that dress. I don't think it was the best choice for her. But you know what? I mean, you can't, it is what it is. And she had this big night. And I kind of just didn't really pay it much mind because, who really cares? Did anyone even know that Meghan Markle was getting an award last night? I knew about it because I followed these things, but I think most normal people would not only not know that Meghan Markle was getting an award last night, they wouldn't really care that Meghan Markle was getting an award last night. And so things had to be amped up a notch. And the first thing that I saw when I woke up this morning was Justin, Prince Harry, and Meghan, Duchess of Sussex, and her mother Doria were involved in a near catastrophic car chase, including paparazzi. And do you know what I said the minute that I saw this? And this is literally I wake up, I look at my phone. This is the very first thing that I saw. I said, staged. No way. No way in this universe that this is a real thing. Because Meghan Markle is desperate beyond belief to be perceived as Princess Diana. That is how her and Harry were trying to paint the whole thing over in the UK when they just wanted Meghan to have extra security because the media was being so mean to her and the paparazzi were being so mean to her and everyone was being so mean to her and they were attacking her like Princess Diana, and Meghan has tried so hard to position herself as Princess Diana, and I mean, come on. Like, you can't get more on the nose than we were chased by the paparazzi and were involved in a near catastrophic car chase in New York City after our big award gala last night. And so I knew the minute I saw this, and I think most reasonable people knew the minute that they saw this that this was staged. If for no other reason, Tom J, I agree. There are no car chases in Manhattan. Have you guys ever been to New York City? Like, I've been to New York City. I I don't I don't that wouldn't work. Like, and not only are they saying that there was a car chase, they're saying it was a 2-hour car chase. I am sorry. That's just not hinged into reality. There is no universe in which there was a 2-hour car chase in New York City. So the news came from this guy. This guy's named Ahmed Scobie. And if you, again, aren't obsessed with royal things like I am, you might have no idea who Ahmed Scobie is. But basically, Ahmed Scobie is Meghan Markle's bitch. Ahmed Scobie is a so-called journalist that is really like Meghan Markle PR. Every time there's a story about Meghan Markle, Ahmed Scobie's right there, defending Meghan Markle, supporting Meghan Markle, putting news out about Meghan Markle. And so how the news broke is it came from Ahmed Scobie, and Ahmed Scobie says, last night, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex and Doria were involved in a terrifying paparazzi car chase involving 6 blacked out vehicles in a chase that could have been fatal. And then he posted this message from a spokesperson, a mysterious nameless spokesperson. And the message said, last night, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex and Miss Ragland were involved in a near catastrophic car chase at the hands of a ring of highly aggressive paparazzi. This relentless pursuit, lasting over 2 hours, resulted in multiple near collisions involving other drivers on the road, pedestrians, and 2 New York Police Department officers. While being a public figure comes with a level of interest from the public, it should never come at the cost of anyone's safety. Disseminated of the images, given the ways in which they were obtained, encourages a highly intrusive practice that is dangerous to all involved. So this came directly from their spokesperson, that they're saying they were on a 2-hour car chase involving 6 different cars through the streets of New York City that where pedestrians were almost hit and there were police officers involved. And apparently they only drove 6 blocks. And here's the other question I have. If the police were actually involved, then why couldn't they just why didn't the police allow them to escape? Why didn't the police stop the alleged paparazzi that were chasing them through the streets of New York City and allow them to escape? But there's more. There's more. Naruto says, oh yes, Caitlin Collins. Congratulations to Caitlin Collins for being promoted to the 9 p.m. primetime slot on CNN. It's going to give us more fun moments with her and Trump, I'm sure. Thank you, Naruto, for that super chat. But there's more. There's more. The NYPD released a statement saying the Duke and Duchess of Sussex arrived at their destination and there were no reported collisions, injuries, or arrests. Isn't that funny that the New York Police Department is saying we got them to their destination safely and there were no collisions and there were no injuries and there were no arrests. The New York Police Department isn't saying anything about a catastrophic car chase. Let's just take a listen to this quick clip from Sky News just to make sure we know what it says. We don't want to jump to conclusions.
Let's just get you a little bit more on our top story now. The Duke and Duchess of Sussex's spokesman says the couple have been involved in a near catastrophic car chase. Well, we've had a response now from the New York Police Department. They say that on Wednesday evening, last night, May the 16th, the NYPD assisted the private security team protecting the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. There were numerous photographers that made their transport challenging. The Duke and Duchess of Sussex arrived at their destination and there were no reported collisions, summonses, injuries, or arrests in regard. So that is from Julian Phillips, the Deputy Commissioner for Public Information for NYPD. So they're saying no reported collisions, summonses, injuries, or arrests, and that they got home safely.
So that kind of seems a little suspicious, doesn't it? Why would the Duke and Duchess of why would the NYPD come out and say no, there was nothing really significant about this? But that's not all. That's not all. So apparently at some point along this epic car chase, apparently Meghan and Harry got out of the black car and got into a taxi. Now, I'm not sure why that would be considered safe if they were in a high-speed car chase through the streets of New York City, in which they were apparently driving on sidewalks and almost hitting pedestrians and things to escape the paparazzi. I'm not sure why they would stop the car, get out of the car, and then get into a cab. Have they ever been in a cab? Do you really think a cab in New York is going to be safer than like a black car service? I would venture not, but that's besides the point, because our favorite narcissist, HG Tudor, has posted on his Twitter. He posted a quote because HG Tudor is also calling bullshit, and we're going to listen to a little of our favorite narcissist, okay? HG Tudor posted a quote from the taxi cab driver who they got into the cab for, and he says, "I always teach go to the evidence. Here's some evidence from the taxi driver in the relentless pursuit from aggressive paparazzi. The BS keeps growing." And this is a quote from the taxi cab driver. "I don't think I would call it a chase. I never felt like I was in danger. It wasn't like a car chase in a movie. They were quiet and seemed scared, but it's New York. It's safe." Why would the taxi cab driver come out and say, nope, weren't no chase, if it was really an aggressive, life-threatening, paparazzi-driven car chase? That's curious. That's curious, isn't it? But let's go back to Ahmed Scobie here, because he's got a whole thread going. He's got a whole thread. Ahmed said, despite being confronted by uniformed police multiple times, the paparazzi's cars continued their pursuit in trying to follow the Sussexes and Doria to the private residence they were staying at. Traffic violations by the drivers included driving on a sidewalk, going through red lights, reversing down a one-way street, driving while photographing, and illegally blocking a moving vehicle. I am positive that there's absolutely going to be evidence for all of this from, like, cameras and, passersby, because, if there's a car chase through New York City involving people like, Meghan Markle and Prince Harry, I would think people might notice. Yeah, exactly, Kino, exactly. And it's been confirmed. Trump was behind the wheel. But it gets better, guys. It gets better. Photos of the couple that came as a result from their 2-hour chase briefly appeared in the Daily Mail this morning, but have since been removed. A source close to the Sussex say Harry and Meghan and Doria are understandably shaken, but thankful that everyone is safe. And there's another picture of Meghan in her gold dress. And then he actually said, the NYPD said that nothing happened. But here's my favorite part. Here's my favorite one. Let me just make this a little bit bigger. Let's just all enjoy this moment. Spokespersons for both King Charles and Queen Camilla and Prince William and Princess Kate have declined to comment I understand that no member of the royal family has reached out to the Sussexes since today's news broke 4 hours ago. Look, we've got a Meghan Markle fan in the chat. Julie says, Carlin Borisenko, were you there? Then you don't truly know what truly happened. Well, Julie, I may not have been in New York City last night on this mystery 2-hour car chase in New York City where it's not possible to have a 2-hour car chase. I may not have been there, but I have a working brain and I'm not stupid and I can use logic to deduce that they're fucking liars, Julie. Julie's crying so hard. And you know what I think is so funny about this quote is this move right here is a Meghan Markle move in order to demonize again Charles and Camilla and William and Kate. Because they've tried so hard with Harry's book to demonize not so much Charles, because Charles is the king and they still need to rely on Charles for like money and things until he rightfully cuts them off, which he damn well should cut them off. He should have cut them off a long effing time ago, but they really have tried very hard to demonize Camilla and William and Kate. William and Kate are like public enemy number one in the Meghan Markle Prince Harry household. Okay? And so what this is one of Meghan Markle's trusty right-hand PR people trying to make it seem as though King Charles and Camilla and William and Kate, they don't care about them at all. They don't care. They almost died. All right. They almost died in this near catastrophic car chase with the paparazzi, just like Diana, and no one even cares. The royal family doesn't even care. They are heartless creatures. They are awful. They don't even care about safety. That's what this is about. That's what this is about right here. And it is so funny to look at the response to this because this is an attempt by Meghan Markle to usurp the fact that there has just been a very successful coronation weekend. Everyone is reveling in the new king and queen, and of course William and Kate are always right there, and they're doing a great job, and Kate is about as popular as ever. Catherine is like the most popular member of the royal family by far, and this drives Meghan Markle insane because Meghan Markle wants to be married to Prince William because she believes she deserves to be queen because she is a narcissist. And so this is driving them all crazy. And so they had to put out some sort of thing to say, these people are horrible, awful people. They aren't the people you think that they are. They don't even care that we almost died in a catastrophic car crash that was caused entirely by the paparazzi. Kino says, prediction, Meghan will be wearing a neck brace accusing the royal family of a thwarted attempt on her life next time she has a press conference. It would not surprise me at all, Kino, if Meghan Markle did in fact do that. And then we've got Jean here that says you can't go more than 30 miles an hour anywhere except the West Side Highway or the East Side Highway. That's exactly right. But let's look at some of the responses to this tweet. Let's see. No one even checked in on them personally to see if they're okay. That's cold. Let's see. Oh, now people are saying it wasn't true, but people earlier on this tweet, let me see about the quote tweets. People earlier on this tweet were like, they're awful. They're awful people. Knowing what happened to Princess Diana, no comment, no solidarity, no thankful they're okay. It sounds as if Camilla and William are sad that the paparazzi didn't succeed in harming him. There are actually people saying about this that this was a plot by Charles and Camilla and William and Catherine to murder Meghan and Harry. That's actually what people in the comments are saying. It's crazy. Absolute obnoxious garbage, stuff into skin suits. The British royal family is trash. Meghan and Hart. Well, that's a positive one for the royal family. Not surprised in the slightest when it comes to that vile family. Every time they're given an opportunity to demonstrate they're not the most self-centered, soulless people on the planet, they reflexively do the worst. So you can see, like, Meghan Markle's tribe, this is totally a PR stunt, is the point that I'm making. This is an epic PR stunt on the part of Meghan Markle and Prince Harry to get all this sympathetic attention. We are but victims of the world. Everyone hates us. Everyone is against us. The royal family hates us. The royal family is against us. They probably even want us dead. This is a coordinated PR stunt. This dysfunctional group of people masquerading as a family don't know the meaning of the word family. They believe loyalty is a one-way street without reciprocation. Fuck all of the royals. Let's see. Not surprised Charles didn't reach out to his son after he could have been killed the same way that his mother was, and to think that Charles is the head of the Church of England. Sorry, but if my sibling had been in an accident that closely mirrored the way our mother died, our mother, I would be on the next fucking plane immediately. Wah, 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 wah. So, what do you guys think? What do you guys think? Let me put a poll in the chat, and we're going to listen to HG Tudor's thoughts on it a little bit, because he is, of course, the master narcissist that is going to help us understand what's happening. Hoax, yay or nay? Was this a hoax? Did Prince Harry and Meghan Markle stage this entire thing for attention and sympathy and all that stuff? Let me know what you think in the chat. I apologize to everyone on Odyssey, Rockfin, and Rumble, but this is a chat just on YouTube for the moment. But hello to Sith watching over on Rumble. I do appreciate it. Guys, while we're waiting for those poll results, please make sure you mount that like button for me. That would be just great. Mounting the like button lets people know to come join us on the channel, and we do the stream every day at 5, except for Saturdays when we go at 6, a little bit later. Yep, it looks like the overwhelming majority right now in the poll do say that this was a hoax. Obviously. But while we're getting some more votes in for that, I wanna just like head over to our favorite narcissist, HG Tudor's channel, because of course he's gonna be the one I turn to on all royal analysis having to do with Meghan Markle, because HG Tudor is a narcissistic psychopath that my community and I really do appreciate his insight. And he basically talks about Meghan Markle being a narcissist like every day of the week. It's honestly a little bit much if you ask me, but I know why he does it. It gets a lot of views to his channel. And he does analysis on, he is a diagnosed narcissistic psychopath. If you are interested in the topic of narcissism, I cannot recommend enough that you go subscribe to his channel, because his narcissism content is fucking phenomenal. It's really, really, really good, really insightful. He's a self-aware narcissistic psychopath, so he knows what he is. He knows why he does what he does, and he explains it. And he has 8,000 videos on Meghan Markle. But he does other things too. And guys, I really recommend, if we're gonna listen to some of his reaction to this whole thing today. But like, if you listen to HG Tudor, don't just listen to his Meghan Markle stuff, because his other stuff is actually much better and much more insightful. Like, he uses the Meghan Markle stuff in order to teach people about this, and also I think to get attention and views and stuff like that. But like, his other stuff is so much better, and it doesn't get as much views, and it's so much better. But he's released a whole bunch of videos about this today. He actually did a little live stream earlier where he did like breaking news. Now, I've already listened to parts 1, 2, and 3, and they're only a couple minutes long. And in the first 3 parts of his series on this today, he was basically saying, he was like, okay, this isn't really passing the sniff test. Like, this seems a little bit like bullshit. That was basically to kind of sum it up, and talked about some of the same facts of the case. Now, he has released 2 more videos on it. Paparazzi car chase, bullshit alert, and paparazzi car chase, loving every second. I have not listened to these yet, and I would really like to get HG Tudor's expert narcissist analysis. Do you guys mind if we listen to some? Would that be okay with people? Because, it's always good to call in an expert. I think it'd be a good idea. And it looks like 93% of you in the chat think that this was a bullshit hoax. And I think you're right about that. All right, let's pop in and we'll listen to HG Tudor, his number 4 one, because I haven't listened to it yet. And this to me seems to be a little bit longer, so maybe he's going into more of the bullshit involved. Let's listen to what he has to say.
You want me to put that on my Twitter?
Harry's wife. Paparazzi car chase, part 4. Bullshit alert.
Yes. Hello, I'm HG Tutor.
Yes, my bullshit alarm has been going off all afternoon.
Indeed.
I've been busy about other matters, hence you were treated to impromptu shots of a quivering bush. No, not that type, you degenerates, but instead a bit of foliage, as I updated you as promptly as I could, following the breaking news of the paparazzi car chase. Well, more information has come forward, but let me say at the outset, I smell a great big steaming dollop of bullshit. What do we have? What has gone on? Well, we had at the outset a statement that was released by, lo and behold,
Ahmed Scobie,
the Sussex's spokesperson. This stated, last night, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex and Mrs. Ragland were involved in a near catastrophic car chase at the hands of a ring of highly aggressive paparazzi. This relentless pursuit, lasting over 2 hours, resulted in multiple near collisions involving other drivers on the road, pedestrians, and 2 NYPD officers. While being a...
Hang on, pause. Benjamin says, I don't think he's British. I think HG Tutor is faking the accent. I'm betting he's German. He's actually explained this. He, like, his accent is a mix of, like, different places, including, like, South Africa. I forget the exact explanation, but there are different accents involved, like, in his, I guess, family lineage or whatever. And that's why it's not, you know, a dead-on thing. But he has actually talked about that.
Public figure comes with a level of interest from the public. It should never come at the cost of anyone's safety. Dissemination of these images, given the ways in which they were obtained, encourages a highly intrusive practice that is dangerous to all involved. Stern words indeed.
Hang on. Jen says, they're trying to pull Princess Diana sympathy. Yes, they are. That's exactly what's going on. They're trying to make it seem as though Meghan... Like, I'm sorry, does anyone even give a fuck about Meghan Markle anymore? Like, truly. They had to buy her an award to get her media coverage. Like, how many paparazzi are going to go on a 2-hour car chase through New York City to get a picture of Meghan Markle when no one effing cares? And it's really low, if we're honest about it. The fact that they're trying to pull the Princess Diana card is like, they are going, like, what cards are, guys, this is like the classic example of, like, just because you can play the card doesn't mean you should. And the minute they have now blown their load all over the place, they have no other cards to play after this. What can they do for another PR stunt after this when this falls flat on their face and the video eventually gets released of there being no 2-hour car chase, no paparazzi, no one being in danger, nothing like that? What happens? Like, what do they try to do next to top this? There's nowhere else they can go from here. They played the ultimate card and it's about to blow up spectacularly in their faces.
And yet, let's have a look at some of the language in this. Near catastrophic car chase. Melodramatic. One imagines that we would be seeing pictures of a car on its overturned roof with the Duke and Duchess of Sussex scrambling out of it A-team style, just rubbing their heads unhurt. But no. And they were highly aggressive paparazzi. Really? What evidence have we got of that other than this statement? Relentless pursuit. At first, I thought this was a throwback to Harry's wife pursuing Harry when she wanted to ensnare him, but apparently related to the paparazzi. Again, it's their words suggesting that it is relentless, lasting over 2 hours. Resulted in multiple near collisions. I think that's just called driving, isn't it?
Well, I
Now-
mean, especially in New York, of all places. Matt says this stream is not going to age well if the footage comes out and proves them right. I am completely and totally comfortable that there is going to be absolutely no footage that comes out that shows that Meghan and Harry were on a 2-hour relentless high-speed chase with the paparazzi in New York City, in which they're driving on sidewalks and almost hitting pedestrians. This is a bet that I'm willing to take. I would in fact bet all the money in my bank account right now that there will be nothing that comes out that proves that Meghan and Harry are telling the truth. I mean, I could be wrong. You always got to leave open that possibility. I could be wrong. I have been wrong before. I will probably be wrong again. I just don't really think I'm wrong about this at all in any way, shape, or form.
Lo and behold, this statement comes out from the Sussexes, and then it's amplified by none other than the plastic-faced, improbably named Lieutenant Omid Scobie.
Omid Scobie.
They left the venue. I've seen a video of them leaving the venue. They walked out of the Hertz reception into a waiting SUV. Photographs were taken, the flashes were going off, plenty of pictures obtained of Harry and Harry's wife. Accordingly, the paparazzi have got what they need. Pictures of them going into the venue, pictures of them leaving. There we are. Now, also, they really are not that special. This is New York City. It's chock-a-block with famous people. I guess the paparazzi have never seen anybody famous in New York before, have they? And they must have got all overexcited, causing them to engage in a near-catastrophic car chase, causing them to behave as highly aggressive paparazzi, causing them also to be involved in a relentless pursuit lasting over...
Hang on. Oh, shoot. Hang on. Save the Bug says... Look more into the Colorado Department of Education, some troubling things. We will, I promise. I just had a call about this earlier today with some people in Colorado. I promise we're going to do serious things too. We're just not doing it right now. I do have some serious stuff coming up later in the stream, but I promise my eye is not off the ball just because we're talking about royal things right now, okay?
2 hours. Bullshit.
Bullshit.
The paparazzi aren't that interested in these two. First of all, there's far more famous people that would merit pursuing. And
like
secondly,
Trump.
There was ample opportunity to get pictures of them. So why would they be pursued? They didn't need to be. Furthermore, their transport has blacked out windows. Accordingly, you're not going to get any pictures of anybody inside. So why the fuck would you pursue them? The paparazzi, to the extent that they were bothered to turn up, would be able to take pictures of them as they left and then gone, right, well, they've gone. We've got some pictures here. That's as good as it gets. That's fine. They wouldn't pursue them. Then why on earth would you drive around for 2 hours? Why? You would just drive either to your hotel and you'd get out and they'd get a few more snaps of you, and then you'd walk in and you're in the hotel, and the hotel would stop the paparazzi from coming in. Or alternatively, you drive to a police precinct and you get out and they get a couple of snaps of you going into a police station and you sit there.
I mean, if they were really on a 2-hour car chase in New York City and the police were really with them, as they said in their statement, then why didn't they just pull over safely to the side of the road and have the police stop the paparazzi? And they already said the police tried to intervene in this 2-hour car chase, right? So if the police intervened, that means at some point the police stopped the paparazzi. So when the police were stopping the paparazzi and trying to reason with the paparazzi, why didn't they just make a getaway? Like this, it just makes no logical sense. There were any number of things that could have been done to prevent there being a alleged 2-hour high-speed car chase through the streets of Manhattan.
And then some burly police officers come out, twat the paparazzi, and you get back in your SUV with tinted windows through which nobody can see, and you drive off to where you're going to stay for the night. Of course, we know the reasons why they drove around for 2 hours. To say that it was a near catastrophic car chase, what? You mean in New York City and Manhattan, where the traffic's normally bumper to bumper and crawling at 5 miles an hour?
Exactly.
That equates to a chase, does it? Absolute horseshit. And then it gets even more ridiculous. Apparently, they did drive to a police station, and the police spoke.
I don't know about this driving to the police station part, but I want to hang on. That wasn't, sorry, Benjamin. That wasn't what I wanted to. That was what I wanted to show. I wanted to show mom of two cats. Oh, that explains the taxi. They couldn't be seen through the blacked out windows, so they got into a cab where they could, in fact, be seen. It's almost like they don't really want their privacy. And then we'll show Benjamin's chat too, because he is making a good point. I spent 2 hours driving 2 miles in New York City once. It was infuriating, but no one was able to get to chase me at a high speed either. Exactly. So apparently this was such a dangerous 2-hour car chase that apparently they drove to the police station, stopped the car, got out of the car, and went into the police station. Now let's hear what happened next.
To the paparazzi. And then when they exited, rather than getting back inside an SUV with tinted windows, they got in a taxi.
Oh, okay.
What was this meant to be, some kind of...
So they drove to the police station in their blacked out SUV and then got into a taxi where they could be seen. Okay, that definitely makes sense.
Of born supremacy switching of vehicles that was going to fool the paparazzi. Absolute nonsense. So you go from an SUV with tinted windows, you ditch your security detail and clamber into a taxi with some bloke sat in the front and Harry, Doria Ragland and Harry's wife sat in it also. And you're so desperate to avoid being photographed that you decide to get out of an SUV which has got blacked out windows and get in a taxi which has got clear windows. Duh! Makes sense. And I guess then thereafter they attempted to drive around a bit in the taxi for the purposes of enabling the paparazzi to get some photographs as they desperately sought out a tunnel trying to emulate what happened to Diana, Princess of Wales.
As they desperately sought out a tunnel trying to emulate what happened to Diana. I think HG Tudor is right on the money on that one.
There's also suggested it was at the hands of a ring of highly aggressive paparazzi. Well, the section of video that I've seen, that when they're in the taxi's stationary. There appears to be one man taking photographs and approaching them whilst there's filming going on.
One paparazzi.
And you can see Harry inside, and you can see the Duchess of Bronzer inside. And they take some pictures, and there's 2 police cars which are making a lot of noise, and then they all drive off. And the paparazzi is approached by a man who gets out of the taxi, telling him to back off, and he goes, yeah, sure. Carries on taking a few pictures. And then it drives a bit further off down the street, and the paparazzi on foot manages to run alongside, because, of course, they're in New York, in Manhattan, and the traffic is really slow.
He also calls her the Duchess
that
of
doesn't
Industrial
equate to a
Beige.
car chase. It accounts to a journalist, stroke paparazzi, walking along the road as they crawl along. I'll tell you what's happened. It's pretty simple.
A hoax.
Harry's wife, narcissist that she is desperate for fuel. After missing out on the coronation, seeing the nemesis kicking her ass left, right, and centre, and turning up wearing her granny's...
The nemesis is Catherine, by the way, is Catherine, Princess of Wales. Meghan hates her like no one else because Meghan thinks that she should be married to William and not Catherine, and so Meghan should be queen and not Catherine when that time comes.
Bedspread. It's necessary for her to try and do something. A paparazzi member, 1, maybe 2, maybe 5, have been hired to follow them. Ordinarily, for the reasons that I've already explained, there was no point in the paparazzi following them. They've been paid to follow Harry's wife. Harry didn't know about this. This has been orchestrated by Harry's wife and this new agency. The driver, pursuant to instruction by Harry's wife via her agents, drives around a bit, creating the idea that they're being pursued by paparazzi, as perhaps one man, huffing and puffing, smoking a Marlboro cigarette, runs along the sidewalk, taking a few pictures. Has-beens starts having panic attacks because, oh gosh, flashbulbs going off. Oh gosh, mummy, pass me the Elizabeth Arden, my little pumpernickel.
Oh my God.
Harry's wife needs to increase the exposure. So after driving around to create the idea of drama and inventing catastrophic car chase, inventing highly aggressive paparazzi, inventing relentless pursuit, inventing multiple near collisions.
I heard that
then
rumor
decided
as well.
that some more pictures are needed. So let's go to a police station and get into a taxi, which makes absolutely zero fucking sense, other than you actually want to keep the drama going and you want to be photographed. And then they carried on driving around a bit, having no near misses whatsoever, as Harry's wife told Harry that the spirit of Diana was protecting them, as Harry then smoked one of Doria's special cigarettes. And then they eventually reached their destination. Having done all of that, they then let this pseudo-drama marinate in bullshit overnight, and then release a statement and pump it out to Omid Scobie and sit back and watch the shit fest. That's what's happened. There is no evidence or credible motivation for the paparazzi to have pursued them other than they've been invited to do so pursuant to payment. It just doesn't make any sense whatsoever. They could get photographs of them leaving. They didn't need to pursue them. It was pointless to pursue them because they were in a vehicle with blacked out windows. Therefore, why would you? Paparazzi aren't that dumb. They've been doing this for years, and they would realize these two aren't that important. We've got some pictures anyway. The only reason you would do it is if you've been paid some money to create pseudo-drama, which is Harry's wife, is all about. It makes no sense to have pursued them. There was no point in pursuing them. The only reason that you would pursue them is if you'd been paid to do it. And that's clearly what has happened. And no wonder when I was with people this afternoon, they kept giving me quizzical looks when they kept hearing my bullshit alarm going off, because as more and more details came through about what had been happening, we've been getting total bullshit from these morons. The narcissist's at it again. The creation of drama when none occurred. And, of course, she's got lots of people talking about her. It's been covered in all the newspapers. But certain are doing it with skepticism. So, for instance, when you have the information that comes from Sky News,
which we watched earlier.
Sky News state, by Tom Gillespie, Prince Harry and Harry's wife paparazzi car chase was not near catastrophic, NYPD officials suggest. New York police officials later said they do not believe the chase was near catastrophic and described a bit of a chaotic scene as the Sussexes tried to get back to their residence. So already we know that it was exaggerated, and of course it's all been done because Harry's wife has caused it to be invented. And it was a chaotic scene of her own creation. Typical behavior of a narcissist. And although she's got people talking about her, which creates the fuel that she requires, hundreds of comments are all talking about how this is utter nonsense and bullshit.
I would say more than hundreds at this point.
Very quickly, in the Telegraph, we have Banjo-Kazooie. It's a worldwide privacy tour, of course. Roger Blank. Well, true to form, headline news on the beam, no injuries, no arrests, and now that fawning, grovelling Nicholas Witchell. Steve Walker, if only it was catastrophic. Their driver should know better. Catherine Lynn, how very convenient for them. Just in time to bolster their case for state-funded security. Peter Kane, sounds something fishy about this. Claire Royce, will someone please call a taxi for these two? Stephen Jones, all the paparazzi had to do was offer them a tenner each and they'd have posed for photographs. Bryony Clark, they have revved up all the public interest. This is what you get. Why drive around for 2 hours? Stop at your hotel and get out. Paula Fitzhenry, half of Manhattan must have been witness to this. They must be coming forward in their droves.
Exactly.
David Fleming, it takes two to make a chase. Underscore, what's the next Jackanory? How I nearly lost my virginity to Mrs. Miggins in the Eton laundry room. there's scores, no hundreds of comments in a similar vein where people just think, yeah, it's manufactured, it's attention-seeking, and they haven't fooled anybody. It's just grist to the mill. It's the narcissist doing what she does. Empty, pathetic, uninteresting. However, of course, it gets commented upon, but as usual, demonstrating the schoolgirl errors that she makes time and time again. It's not thought through properly, and it gets the hit of fuel that she requires, but then just shafts her credibility even further by demonstrating that this is clearly manufactured. And that's why you, me, and them over there, and everybody else smells massive amounts of bullshit.
It is really impressive, like, how everyone is just calling this out for what it clearly and obviously is, which is a publicity stunt. Nick says, HG reminds me of a younger Trump, but more well laid out thoughts and much more cunning in his goals. That is because he says that Trump is a lower level narcissist, and HG Tudor is obviously like the ultra narcissist, which means he's like the highest of the high level narcissists. He's like the number one, like, king narcissist of all narcissists. And so that's why he would come across as more cunning and well laid out. Shauna says, Harry remembers how horribly Kate was treated by the paparazzi when she was dating William, right? Well, no, apparently they don't even like to acknowledge that at all. That just never happened. It never happened. Meghan is the only victim of the world. Everyone will need to pay up to the Carlin is Right fund when this hoax gets turned up as evidence in a lawsuit for Harry to get his security back. You know, I mean, I don't even think so. The Carlin is Right tip jar is only when you are wrong and I am right, and you then have to admit that I was right when you were wrong. But I think pretty much everyone knows, everyone except, you know, like, there are 92% of people who agree with HG Tudor's analysis. So, like, over 90% of people know. So it's like, I don't think anyone owes me a Carlin is Right tip today, because we all know what actually happened. Shauna says, what is Tudor's take on Harry? He thinks that he is being manipulated, and he's just like not the brightest crayon in the box. And I mean, you can go listen to his videos on it. Like, I like, he doesn't think Harry's a narcissist. He thinks Harry's stupid and has been taken in by this evil narcissist, and he's being manipulated essentially. But he thinks that eventually she's going to leave him, which aligns with what Joshua said a couple weeks ago in Nothing Remotely Controversial. Joshua thinks there's going to be a divorce. Jen says, even the cab driver said the paparazzi were not being aggressive. Obviously. Oh, Bot, you troll voted. Of course, Bot always has to ruin my polls. All right, so I want to listen to one more video from HG Tudor because he has a part 5 here. It's only 9 minutes long, and I want to see what he has to say in it. And then we're gonna move on, and we're gonna do other stuff, guys. And I promise, I've got some good stuff coming up. You want to stick around? I have real stuff coming up. We're gonna do one more royal video, but let me just give you a preview. We're gonna talk about queer math camp. That's coming up. We're gonna talk about how Archie is now trans and queer. And my favorite one of the day, shout out to Kino, Disney partners with Equal Pride to make pro-sodomy content. So I got some good stuff coming up, guys. You aren't gonna wanna miss it. But let's do one more royal video, because that's how we're going to roll for today. Guys, please mount that like button for me. I do appreciate it. Let's listen to HG Tudor's part 5 and see what he has to say. And I like this one because it has a Cheshire cat in the video. And you guys know I like the Cheshire cat.
Harry's wife. Paparazzi car chase, part 5. Loving every second. Hello, I'm HG Tudor. I hope you have got your shovels to hand, because there's a lot of bullshit to shovel away as a consequence of the manufactured car trace that's been created by Harry's wife, narcissist that she is, for the purposes of course, certain control over those that read about it, watch the videos, comment upon it, and provide, of course, fuel, albeit much of it challenge fuel. There she is, wearing her grandmother's bedspread, emerging from purchasing an award at the Women of Vision, and then all hell apparently breaks loose. Now, as I explained in part 4, it's a completely manufactured situation. What I'm going to do in part 5 is display for you a photograph which tells you everything that you need to know about the participants in this
Excellent.
absolute clusterfuck
Perfect,
of a shit show
HG.
of manufactured, charlatan-based nonsense. I'm bringing the photograph up for you now. There you have it. There's the picture. It's one of the paparazzi pictures that was taken as a consequence of this high-speed, near-catastrophic, aggressive pursuit. Bullshit. It's the interior of a cab, because after all, what you always
Welcome,
do
Vision.
when you're traveling in an SUV with blacked out windows so that you can't be photographed is that then you then go and get in a taxi with clear windows so that you can be photographed. This shows the interior. First of all, Harry. Harry's not in on this. And he sat there with his phone, presumably.
So HG thinks that this is a thing planned entirely by Meghan, and Harry doesn't know what's going on, which I don't know. Probably. I kind of feel bad for Harry, if I'm honest about it. I really do. I know I shouldn't. He is complicit at this point. He has allowed himself to be manipulated by a narcissist, but like I feel bad. He's just like not the brightest crayon in the box. And could she really have fooled him? I mean, probably.
Either trying to watch Peppa Pig to settle his jangled nerves.
Hey, if you guys will watch it, I'll
or
do it. I'll
he's
do royal
filming
gossip.
The paparazzi. You're photographing and filming me. I'm filming you back. Ah. He sits there, hand up against his face obscured from the other side by his iPhone.
Yes, exactly, Brooklyn.
You've seen from other pictures that he does look rather miserable in the back of the taxi. Clearly, he's not in on the ruse. He's not that good an actor. And he's upset. It might, of course, be bringing back memories of what happened to his mother, which, of course, is precisely what Harry's wife wants. So he sits there, agitated. You can see at least he's got his seatbelt on. And accordingly, the whole affair is upsetting him, agitating him, irritating him, leading him to undertake some filming. Nearest the camera, we have Doria. She is looking pensively downwards. At first, perhaps she's rolling a big fat blunt and is focused on that.
I strongly doubt that.
But it also looks like
They're in the
she's
back of a
looking at
car.
something on her phone.
That's not
in
practical.
a studious attempt to ignore the sole paparazzo
You just have a
that
vape.
is
It's
taking
much more
photographs from
convenient.
outside of the cab. She is at least attempting to look like it's disconcerting. She possibly is not in on the ruse also, and therefore her reaction is one of consternation. Nevertheless, she will be enjoying the fuel as she's a narcissist herself. Alternatively, she is in on it, knows all about it, and is playing along by acting, by feigning looking like she's troubled.
Hang on. So Shauna says, what is the feeling about Meghan's mother? HG Tutor says she's a narcissist. I don't know. I honestly haven't looked into it that much because I don't really care. But he says that she is also a narcissist, which could make sense because remember, narcissistic personality disorder is a combination of both nature and nurture. It's like you have to have the genes for it, which if Doria is a narcissist, then Meghan would have the genes for it. And then you have to be like raised in a certain way in which like your basic needs aren't met essentially. And so if Dory's a narcissist, that could happen too. So he could be right. Narcissists do often breed narcissists. Well, he should divorce her. I absolutely agree. I think Harry should. Now, what I think is going to happen is she's going to divorce him. I don't think he's going to divorce her. I think she's going to divorce him.
By it all. But at least there's a degree of acting going on. Because then as we come to the actress, well, look at her. Sat in the center, doesn't appear to be wearing a seatbelt, although perhaps her arms are obscuring it, but it doesn't look like it. Wrapped up in grandma's bedspread. She sits there. She's not anguished. She's not upset. She is loving every second of the drama. hands poised over what looks like her phone. She's staring straight ahead. But her narcissism can't help but that little smug smirk make an appearance. Why? Because she's getting high off the fuel. She's getting high off the fuel of Harry's reaction to all of this drama,
What's the
him getting
moon
upset,
bump?
him
I don't know
perhaps
what that
wetting
is.
his nappy as a consequence of being frightened that the same fate might belie them as happened to his mother, even though they're not actually moving at anything above 5 miles per hour. But his upset, his fear, his anxiety has been created by her manufacturing this scenario, and she's drinking deep of the huge amounts of fuel that are coming from him. And of course, as the intimate partner primary source, it's hugely potent. So she's getting a right old fuel fest from Harry. Her mother's responses, either natural because she doesn't know what's going on, or faint.
Hang on. We all need to have an intervention with Met right now. Met, don't do it. Don't be fooled by the looks. Do not allow yourself to get ensnared by a narcissist, Met. It's a bad idea. I don't care how hot she is. I don't care how good she is in bed. Don't do it. It's a mistake. You'll regret it. Everyone have an intervention with Met. We don't want anyone in my community to get sucked into a narcissistic relationship. It doesn't, you can find someone else that's not a narcissist.
Because she does, and nevertheless responses which are occasioned by what Harry's wife has manufactured. Her mother is a non-intimate secondary source. The fuel coming from her is not as potent, but it's fuel nevertheless. The reaction of the driver, a tertiary source, will be providing her with fuel. He probably just thinks, I've got to get him out of here. And he might be swearing like a trooper. And then there's the other gentleman who seems to be some kind of bodyguard, etc., the one who exited the taxi. And he, in the pictures, also looks suitably flustered, evidently isn't in on the deal, and therefore his reactions will be similar. Yet sat amongst them all, serene, reveling in the chaos that she's causing, is the Duchess of Overseas. And you can see it. That is the face not only of somebody who knows that it's manufactured, but it is the face of somebody that is drinking on all of the fuel. Now, again, remember that although there's preparatory work that has gone into this, namely, after tonight's event, we will stage a pseudo car chase. This has undoubtedly be something that has been cooked up by her agency, and she has gone along with. Furthermore, because she's an unaware narcissist...
Oh, that's interesting. So he thinks that this was cooked up by the PR agency as a PR stunt. Huh? Maybe.
Operates in the moment. She hasn't thought through the ramifications of this. She hasn't thought through the fact that the vast majority of people have immediately called foul on it, seeing it as a manufactured event, with the consequent threats to control that generates. Her behavior demonstrates that she has no emotional empathy whatsoever for Harry, upsetting him in this way, as of course she has no emotional empathy for the people that she's attempting to dupe, although failing badly. But she's loving every second of this, lapping up the fuel that's flowing to her, in terms of the reaction of the paparazzi, her husband, her mother, the driver, the bodyguard, and also no doubt gaining some thought fuel from the headlines, and believing that she's oh so clever. That face, the smirk, is from the receipt of the fuel that's coming.
Please let there be another South Park.
Can't keep that arrogance, that self-satisfied nature under control. And thus, that is what you see. So one photograph provides us with a brilliant opportunity to unpack so much about narcissism, which you wouldn't get anywhere.
All right. Thank you, HG Tutor, for your expert analysis. So that's what I think, guys. I think it's a hoax. I agree with his analysis. I wonder if Meghan cooked it up or if her PR agency cooked it up. And but you know what? Maybe we're all wrong. Maybe video will emerge of an epic 2-hour car chase through New York City. I guess we'll have to see, but that is our royal gossip for today. I hope you guys enjoyed that nice little reprieve. Now, we do have to get back to business, guys. We have some important things that we need to cover about what's going on that's crazy in the world. So if you just dropped in for the Meghan Markle content, stick around. Stick around because we just had our dessert. Usually we do vegetables first and then we do dessert, but we started with dessert today. But stick around, and I'm going to tell you some other crazy things that are going on in the world. We're going to cover 3 more stories on this stream that have nothing to do with Meghan Markle, but I promise you, your mind is going to be blown. Raven's Poetry says her smirk is a complete tell. I absolutely agree with that. So, guys, I'm going to tell you about a queer math camp for kids that doesn't actually teach math and is endorsed by a major mathematics association. Sad but true, that's happening right now. We're going to talk about how Archie, the classic Archie comics that I grew up with, that I always would buy at the supermarket, they're turning queer. So that's good news. And then we're going to talk about Disney creating pro-sodomy content. And we're going to find out exactly what that means. This is going to be a big old shout out to Kino in the chat for alerting me to this. Angel, I'm sorry. If you're not smart enough to understand that this was a contrived scenario, you're just not smart enough to be in my audience. It's just true. You need an IQ of at least a 100 to be in my audience. I'm sorry it's not going to work out. But you can show yourself out the door. That's where, or you can stick around. I mean, stick around if you want to. That's cool too. So that's what we're going to talk about on the show today, guys. If you appreciate that, please mount that like button for me. And of course, please make sure you are subscribed to my Substack, Carlyn, KARLYN.substack.com, which is where I cover all the greatest untold, unwoke content on the internet. A lot of the stories I cover on my Substack, I'm quite literally the only person talking about them. See, this is how we know that Angel is not really a subscriber on this channel, because Angel's actually asking me if I'm woke right now. Bro, show yourself out, Angel. Not smart enough to be in my audience. I really do. I'm sorry. It's me, not you, all that sort of stuff. But I have covered the queer math camp on my Substack, but we're going to talk about it a little bit more today, just in case, people on YouTube may have missed that content. We got some other great stories coming up on the Substack. And of course, there's a members only version, including the Inner Circle podcast, which is for members only. If you want to support the work I'm doing, $5 a month, $50 a year subscription on my Substack helps keep me in business. And I do really appreciate it. Couple other things coming up this week. Tomorrow, not that, tomorrow, for anyone who is a people manager in the workplace, I'm actually going to be doing a live version of a workshop that I've done in organizations all over the country called Manager Mastery. This is part of my Unwoke Your Work workshop series, where I'm taking all of my corporate training programs and I'm putting them online, completely politics free. No social justice, no diversity, no equity, no inclusion, no belonging, just psychology and people. And that's what we're going to talk about. So if you're looking for a professional development program that will teach you how to manage a team of people, I've got it for you. We're doing it tomorrow starting at 8 p.m. There's still slots where you can still sign up. You can find out more information over on the Substack or on activelyunwoke.com. Also, as a reminder, we do movie nights on Sundays in my supporter Discord. And this Sunday, we are going to be watching THX 1138. I've never actually seen it before, but this is George Lucas's first movie. And you will get access to the supporter Discord when you become a member of this here YouTube channel, my locals, my Patreon, or of course, my Substack. And then you can join us for movie night on Sundays at 8 p.m. And I'm sure it's going to be a great movie. Jennifer assures me it's awesome. And then finally, we do have my new Trump merch. Trump gets the last laugh in the Unwoke Art Store. If you've never visited the Unwoke Art Store, today would be a great time to start. And I've got this great Trump merch that I just launched yesterday. And can I put in a particular recommendation? This is a limited time only special of the Trump Golden Mug. I'm very proud of this mug. I'm very proud of this design on this mug. You can see Trump is even in gold himself when it is printed on this mug. And it says, always get the last laugh, because the Wheel of Fortune is always turning. And no matter how bad things seem, they can always turn out right in the end. We've also got this beautiful G Clay print, which looks, I mean, really, really good, to be honest. A great, very high quality print. It's going to look great. And then, of course, we have the t-shirt. Now, I did show it in gold, but you can also get the t-shirt in black. You can get it in orange. You can get it in red. You can get it in poppy. And but I think, Trump loves his gold, so we have to give the gold to Trump on that one. So those things are available if you want to support the work I'm doing. That'll be great. Fish Addict just got off a Zoom about Pork Fest. Guess what? Gabrielle Clark is now speaking at Pork Fest. We got that set up earlier today, so that's going to be great. Guys, let's dig into it. I want to start by talking about queer math. Or rather, Queer Math Summer Camp. Now, this is actually a premium article on my Substack, but it does have a free preview. And so I'm going to read through the content in the free preview because this is a real thing. There is a Queer Math Summer Camp that is going to be starting in a couple weeks. And shout out to Resolute Mama over on Twitter, because she's the one that shared this amazing story with us about the Queer Math Summer Camp. And I just want to read you to some of the things that their website says. Who can apply? This program has been designed to provide a two-spirit LGBTQIA+ affirming space, even for those who may not be out to their families, friends, or communities as queer or transgender. And this is for students entering grades 9 through 12. So minors, and they don't have to be out to their parents. In fact, their parents may not even know they're applying to Queer Math Summer Camp. But it gets better than that, guys. It does get better. Who's sponsoring this summer camp? The Queer Mathematics Teacher Radical Pedagogy Institute, Teach About Women, and we are excited to announce that the Mathematical Association of America is in complete support of the Queer Math Summer Camp. In fact, they're in such support of it that they're hosting it on their website, the Mathematical Association of America. Now, you might think that if the Mathematical Association of America is sponsoring and supporting the Queer Math Summer Camp, you might think that that would mean that they would teach math at the Queer Math Summer Camp, right? That makes sense. But no, they quite literally say on their website that they do not teach math at the Queer Math Summer Camp. What math will we learn? That will be up to you. This is not a traditional camp or a school program. Our program is completely student generated. That means Paulo Freire, Pedagogy of the Oppressed. Well, we may provide a specific context, e.g., mathematics, queer representation in media, at various points throughout this program. Students will be encouraged to pose whatever mathematical questions they find interesting related to that context, as well as other contexts that they generate themselves. For this reason, and here's the important part, there is no prescribed mathematical content that we will learn in this program. The mathematics we learn will depend entirely upon the questions that students choose to explore and the mathematics that might aid them in that exploration. We will never have required assignments or anything like a traditional school assignment. The goal of the program is to provide a space for mathematical play, discovery, and joy for the LGBTQ+ students, and for them to engage with mathematics in the way they find interesting and comfortable. But they're definitely not grooming kids, guys. Just because it's a queer math summer camp in which they are not teaching math, that doesn't mean they're grooming kids. No, definitely not. But we could ask, what is the inspiration behind the camp? Our program taps into the LGBTQ+ folks, FOLX, natural propensity to explore alternative routes and ask questions that others may not. We believe that this is exactly the liberatory approach needed to radically transform how we view what counts as mathematics and what it means to be mathematical. They are quite literally telling you that queer people have their own math that only queer people know. Let me just read this part up at the top. I probably should have read it before. While LGBTQ plus identity is often relegated to the margins and ignored in subjects like math, I don't know why we have to talk about LGBTQ plus identity in math class, but the camp of mathematical queries was created to resist this normative view. Normative means what is normal in society. Our program was designed to illustrate the students' LGBTQ plus identities are powerful assets to be utilized in the nurturing of a positive mathematical identity. Our program honors the sentiments of Ocean Vuong, who said, "When I look at my life, I saw that queerness demanded an alternative innovation from me. I had to make alternative routes. It made me curious. It made me ask, is this enough for me?" They're quite literally saying that queer people have their own math. That's what they're arguing. And so I just wanted to let everyone know that Queer Math Summer Camp is a thing. It is a thing that is happening in July. Your kids can apply for it right now. And if you want to see some of the questions they're asking about on their application, and let me just do a spoiler alert. One of the questions that they ask on the application in the Queer Math Summer Camp is, do you watch RuPaul's Drag Race? I'm not kidding. The questions that they're asking on this application have nothing to do with math, and they're all about what people the students are attracted to. It's all about what media they're consuming, and they quite literally ask, "Do you watch RuPaul's Drag Race?" on the application for the Queer Math Camp. You can find out more about that over on my website, Carlyn, KARLYN.substack.com, and you can see for yourself the glory that is Queer Math Camp. Jen says, queer math question. If you have 5 people in an orgy, 3 of which are two-spirit, how many are in said orgy? That's a great question, Jen. That's a great question. I'm not sure I know the answer to that one. Well, Shauna, the thing is that they quite literally state on the website, your parents don't need to know about this. Don't worry. We'll use whatever name you want. We won't tell your parents if you don't want us to. You can use whatever pronouns you want. We won't tell your parents. That's Queer Math Summer Camp in all of its glory. But guys, it gets better because Archie is going trans. Now, how many people read the Archie comics growing up? I have never been into comics, never was, except for Archie. Every time I went grocery shopping with my mother at the checkout, I'd be buying the Archie comic. I don't know why I had a thing about it, but I did. That was one of my favorite things. I read them over and over and over again. I loved those Archie comics. And so I'm more than well. I don't care if people are trans. You guys know that. I don't care if people are trans or queer. Be your best self, live your best life. I don't really care. But why are you transing people that aren't trans? Why are you transing people, Archie comics, just to have queer representation in Archie comics? I mean, I'm not saying you can't introduce a new character. Fine. But why you got to go back and ruin everything? I just don't understand. Archie comics to transform classic character into a transgender woman, making the series more queer. A character in Archie comics universe is getting a transgender rebrand. This is from Fox News. Let's see. Kurt says, I simped for Betty before I knew what a simp was. A character in Archie Comics is getting a transgender rebrand as part of an effort to make the series a little bit more queer. In a new series starring strange science character Danny Malloy, who is known as the love interest to the main character Dilton Dooley and sidekick Jinx Holiday, will now be a transgender woman in a new comic. Publisher Archie Comics announced on May 15th that Malloy would be making an appearance in its chilling adventures anthology, according to Gizmodo. The series is written by a trans comic writer, Magdalene, and illustrated by artist Butch Mappa. Isn't this Kino? Isn't this Magdalene person who we watched on that happy hour about transing comics? I'm pretty sure that this person was in there. They ruin everything. They really do. Richard says, perhaps they don't want to get sales this month. Doesn't that lesson from Bud Light teach people anything? Well, no. Yeah, I think that person was in that queer comics video that we watched together. Magdalene told the outlet that she has been wanting to make this happen for a long time, thanking publisher Archie for never pushing back on her plans to make their books a little bit more queer. I never wanted Danny's trans identity to be gimmicky or for her to feel like she was only created to be trans. You are literally creating her to be trans. So I'd like to apologize for sneaking her over the line like this. That is, Mags ruins all the comics she touches. Well, that was generally the impression I got of her. I'm honored I got to make this happen, and I'm grateful to Archie for never, not even once, pushing back on my insistence on making their books a little more queer, she added. I hope Danny finds a good home at Archie, with supportive writers and artists helping to keep her alive for years to come. Mappa said he felt honored to be illustrating the comic, even before he learned what the story was about. Magdalene is one of the most important voices in writing today, because Magdalene is trans, and I'm thrilled to join her for this chapter in her ongoing story with Danny and Jinx. Magdalene wrote a story that is vital and poignant and brilliant at the same time, and stunning and brave and beautiful, while also being a fantastic piece of sci-fi and horror. Expect lots of weirdness, emotion, action, and character. Archie Comics Senior Director of Editorial, Jamie, said the comic is one of, if not the most important one-shots we've released to date. It also showcases how versatile horror can be, as it deftly blends sci-fi and horror with a beautiful, poignant, stunning, and brave and beautiful tale about confronting the past, she says. That's all thanks to writer Magdalene, who has an idea to have Danny Malloy tell her own story about her transition. Yep, I'm feeling a little horrified right now. Anyone else feeling a little horrified? Yasmin, they're making Archie trans. Well, not Archie, but a character in Archie. I'm so proud of this book, but moreover, it's an honor to help bring this beautiful story to life. I'm consistently awed by the amazing talent I have the opportunity to work with. Stunning and brave and beautiful. Archie is now queer. Congratulations. But that's not the craziest thing that I came across today. And again, I have to credit Kino for this one. Kino was the one that tagged me in the tweet about this horrific story, and we're going to discover this together because I didn't have time to read this. Disney partners with Equal Pride to make new pro-sodomy content to create systematic and meaningful change. Now listen, whatever you like to do in bed is your business. If you are pro-butt stuff or anti-butt stuff or ambivalent about butt stuff, I don't really care. We like what we like, people should do what they want to do. I'm just not sure why we need to make pro-sodomy content. That feels a little bit much to me. Let's see. The Walt Disney Company, through its Disney advertising arm, is partnering with Equal Pride to create pro-sodomy content in order to create systematic and meaningful change. Equal Pride runs multiple websites, including the Advocate Out Advocate channel, Pride, Out Traveler, and Plus, that the company uses to try to normalize disordered behavior and sin. The organization also previously partnered with car brand Lexus to create a number of videos attempting to redefine what a family is in an ad called The Evolution of the Family. Well, we all know what that is. What's that about? That's not about sodomy. We all know what that is, right? That they're trying to redefine the family. What's that about? Pop quiz in the chat. Why might Disney be trying to redefine what the family is? I know you guys know the answer to this. It's about abolish the family. Marxism, baby. Getting rid of the family. It's about socialism. That's a socialist priority. This is real. Socialism, communism, destroying the family. Marx abolished the family. Marxism. Anytime you guys see anything about abolishing the family, queering the family, destroying the family, evolving the family, liberating the family, all that stuff, that is Marxism. And if you don't believe me, just search abolish the family on my channel. You will find 5 or 6 streams about it. You can see for yourself, Marxists want to abolish the biological family. Not only is Disney partnering with Equal Pride, but they're also partnering with 3 other agencies, including Cosina, a subsidiary of Mecenas Media, Group Black, and United Masters. Speaking to Adweek about the new partnership in a roundtable discussion, Disney's advertising senior vice president of client partnerships, John, said, "What we're trying to do is create systematic and meaningful change in the end." Jen says, like, what's next? Learn BDSM from Mickey Mouse and Minnie? Jen, why are you giving them ideas? Why would you do that to us, Jen? Jen, you understand now I'm going to have to go make an AI art image of that for the thumbnail that I'm going to do for this clip. I'm going to do it. Minnie's going to be in leather with a whip. It's going to be great. We covered that at the beginning of the stream, Yasmin. You're going to have to rewind. He added, none of us are here for heritage months only. We all activate 365 days a year. So if clients want to work with us for 5 days or 52 weeks, we have solutions. And these teams here are all part of these solutions. The deals are not monolithic. For example, Adweek details, I don't care about that. Adweek's bill does note that these organizations will retain all intellectual property. Okay, where do we get to the sodomy? Where do we talk about the sodomy? Oh, here we go. Campbell, in a very similar statement to former Marvel Studios VP Victoria about the production company's focus on identity over story, justified the promotion of sodomy with equal pride, saying, "We're all in the business of reaching audiences, and if you're not reaching all audiences, you're missing out on effectively running your business and selling whatever product you're looking to sell." He added, "We've been in the engagement business for 100 years, and we just want to make sure they're engaging with everyone authentically, and that's really where these partnerships come to life." Our qualitative research said that the queer community can identify the brands they don't like us in unison, but they can't name the brands in unison that support us. If I'm a CMO, if I'm a brand manager, I'm going to absolutely drive a truck through that opportunity. Right now, I would probably reckon on behalf of all of us, there is no brand category lighting it up 365 all year long, the Equal Pride executive said. The business initiative comes in a wake of the Walt Disney Company campaigning in the state of Florida against a bill that will eventually become law and prevents the teaching of sexual orientation and gender identity in children in grades kindergarten through 3rd grade. We already know this. We've covered it on the channel before. Let's see. The Disney CEO later detailed in his email, powerful content that changes hearts and minds only springs from inclusive cultures, which not only attract and retain the best and most diverse talent, but also gives these employees the freedom to bring forth ideas that reflect their lives and their experiences. We must work to ensure Disney always remains such a place. The company also hosted a Reimagine Tomorrow conference where numerous executives made it clear they intended to promote sodomy and other disordered behavior. Now, listen, okay, I don't know what the deal is with this website. To be really clear, I don't consider sodomy to be a disordered behavior. I don't think that's an accurate characterization. Guys, men have prostates for a reason, all right? It's not a disordered behavior. I mean, you're literally built for it, gentlemen. I'm sorry. I know not all of you are gay and not all of you like butt stuff, and I get it, but like I'm just stating facts. It's not disordered. I'm not pro butt stuff or anti butt stuff. I'm just reading the article, okay? I think it's bad to say it's disordered. It is not disordered. It is literally the way the body is built on men anyway. Like what? Why is this what I'm talking about on the internet? I have a PhD, goddammit. Why am I talking about butt stuff on the internet? If you had told me 5 years ago that this is where I would be in my life right now, I would have not believed you, and I'm just Yep, Steven confirms. The prostate is a beautiful thing, gentlemen. I can't. I can't. Okay. One such executive was Disney Television Animation's LaToya. There are always problems with women named LaToya. This is true. God is trolling me. I'm talking about butt stuff on the internet because God hates me. No, God doesn't hate everyone. God loves everyone, but God is absolutely trolling me right now. It's like you spent all those years getting a PhD in psychology. We're gonna sprinkle a little, talking about butt stuff on the internet on you, and you're gonna see what that works out to. Remember, guys, just because you've made plans in your life doesn't mean that's the way your life is going to work out. I'm just saying. In my little pocket of the Proud Family Disney TVA, the showrunners were super welcoming. Meredith Roberts and our leadership over there have been so welcoming to my not at all secret gay agenda. She added, maybe it was that way in the past, but I guess something must have happened in the last. They are turning it around. They're going hard. I'm sure they are. And then, like all that momentum that I've just felt, the sense of I don't have to be afraid to have these two characters kiss in the background. I just, wherever I could, so basically adding queerness. If you see anything queer in the show, no one would stop me, and no one was trying to stop me. Oh, there's Chris Rufo popping up like he always does. Anyway, guys, I'm not going to talk anymore about butt stuff today, but you can see that Disney is Disney's not slowing down. In fact, it seems as though Disney is giving Ron DeSantis a giant middle finger with all of his stuff that he's trying to put upon them. And I just think that this little war with Disney that Ron DeSantis has is really misguided. Ron DeSantis is going to lose. I think it's sad. I'm not saying there are things I agree with Ron DeSantis on. Starting a war with Disney is definitely not one of them. Shauna says, it's okay, Carlin. God trolls everyone. God is literally the king of the trolls. Well, guys, I think that is a perfect note to end the stream on. Meghan and Harry are trolling us. God is trolling us. Archie Comics are trolling us. Queer Math Camp is trolling us. And it's only Wednesday. Who knows what tomorrow will bring? But guys, that is the cult for today. Again, if you enjoyed the show, I hope you'll consider subscribing to the channel. I hope you will consider mounting that like button for me. And of course, please make sure you are subscribed to my Substack, which is Carlin, Karlyn, .substack.com, where I will bring you the latest Unwoke news and untold stories that you won't find anywhere else on the internet. I cover stuff your conservative influencers, if you listen to conservative influencers, refuse to cover. We go into the dark underbelly of the dystopia on both sides. I'll be back tomorrow at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. We'll do it all over again. Take care, guys. Have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you soon.